The Fantastic Four are going to be a massive fixture for the next several upcoming years in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Reed Richards specifically, supposedly, is going to be a huge part of what Marvel does going forward. And of course, he's played by Pedro Pascal. We've seen Marvel go all in when it comes to the marketing for this, for everything. And I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of seeing Pedro Pascal anywhere. This is on the cover of Vanity Fair. Everyone wants a piece of Pedro. Weird. Like this, by the way, this is for Vanity Fair. You got women's hands on him. You got big black man hands on him here.
What the? Is that? That's not an AI thing? That's real?
This is from Vanity Fair. This is real. But
the freak, that's gay. Sorry. Am I allowed to say that?
The Fantastic Four aren't just making a return. They're being paraded as the MCU's new crown jewel. And right in the middle of it all, Pedro Pascal, cast as Reed Richards. The internet lost its mind the second this was announced. Marvel's leaning in hard on the PR, but fans? Not everyone's buying it. This was supposed to be a triumphant return, a course correction after the disaster of Fan for Stick. Instead, it's turning into a PR nightmare. So what the hell happened?
Fantastic Four flops. It wasn't good. Hypothetically, how does Marvel move on from that? I know Spider-Man is now coming out before Avengers Doomsday, and people are saying that that's going to be kind of like their safety net, but I really don't think that's going to work. It's already known that Fantastic Four is going to be like such an important and detrimental part to the Doomsday and Secret War story, so if their introduction, for some whatever reason, doesn't land with the audience, I don't get how they can make Doomsday like, you know, the success it needs to be. By the way, I'm not trying to like prey on its downfall or anything. Like, I am genuinely super excited for the Fantastic Four. I'm just being real. Marvel has been doing flop after flop. Thunderbolts was a flop. Yes, it's like a literal fact. So in my opinion, it is reasonable to be concerned that this movie might not be good, or, you know, it just might not perform well. And if that happens, like, what's next? We'd like to welcome back Iron Man, Steve Rogers, Scarlett Johansson.
Let's start with Pedro Pascal. The man's everywhere. The Mandalorian, The Last of Us, now the Fantastic Four. Some say he's Hollywood's golden boy. Others think he's overstayed his welcome. Either way, Marvel betting the farm on him is a gamble. A big one. Not because he's untalented, but because he's a lightning rod. Every time he opens his mouth lately, it sets off a firestorm. And that's exactly what happened during the press tour for this movie. First, there was the Vanity Fair cover. Supposed to be artsy. Instead, it sparked more confusion than hype. Pascal, surrounded by disembodied hands, some male, some female, touching him like a Greek statue in a fever dream. Was it AI? Nope, it was real and weird. Social media couldn't stop talking about it, but not in a good way. The image became meme fodder overnight, and people started asking, is this really how Marvel wants to sell Reed Richards? That image was just the beginning. Pascal went off during interviews. Not about the movie, not about the characters, but politics. Again. Look, say what you want about Pedro's beliefs, but he's turning every red carpet into a campaign rally. He said, and I quote, "We're living in a time where DEI and LGBTQ+ rights are being erased in film and TV." Then he went a step further, called it the death of cinema. That's not just bold, that's nuclear. Now fans are split. Hardcore defenders say he's speaking truth to power. Others are furious, saying he's hijacking the press tour to push his own agenda. One fan wrote on Twitter, "This isn't a political rally, it's a superhero movie. I just want to see the Thing punch stuff." And that kind of sums it up. People aren't mad that he has opinions. They're mad that the movie they've waited over a decade for is getting overshadowed by them. And then there's the casting itself. Pascal as Reed Richards? Not everyone's convinced. Sure, he can act. But Reed Richards is supposed to be a cold, hyper-logical genius. Pedro's brand has always been warm, charming, a bit chaotic. Not exactly the Mr. Fantastic blueprint. Add in the fact that fans were still recovering from John Krasinski's Blink and You Miss It cameo in Multiverse of Madness. And yeah, emotions were high, expectations even higher. Marvel didn't help. Instead of quelling the backlash, they doubled down. Leaks revealed that Silver Surfer would now be played by a gender-swapped version of Shalabal instead of Norrin Rad. Cue even more outrage. Fans argued this isn't about diversity. It's about changing legacy characters for no reason. And worse, they felt baited. Like Marvel was trying to stir controversy to generate buzz. Mission accomplished. It's not just fans pushing back. Behind the scenes, reports say there's tension among the cast. Some are allegedly distancing themselves from Pedro's more explosive interviews. Not because they disagree with him, but because they don't want their careers dragged into the crossfire. One anonymous crew member said the vibe on set was tense but polite, which in Hollywood speak means passive-aggressive chaos. And it gets messier. Word is, Disney executives are watching everything closely. PR teams are scrambling to contain the fallout. This wasn't supposed to be another Captain Marvel situation, and yet here we are. Instead of hyping up the film's plot or visuals or performances, the narrative has become about politics, identity, and Pedro Pascal's media tour. This movie cost millions, and all it takes is one poorly timed soundbite to tank the box office. Meanwhile, Marvel's recent track record hasn't helped. Thunderbolts? Flop. Quantumania? Flop. Secret Invasion? Disastrous. Fans are tired. They've been burned too many times. So now, with Fantastic Four, a franchise that should be a slam dunk, there's no margin for error. And yet, they're treating it like just another experimental project. Except this one has to work. No do-overs this time. Pedro's latest comments only poured more fuel on the fire. In Berlin, during what was supposed to be a lighthearted fan Q&A, he launched into another impromptu political monologue. He said Americans were losing the right to express themselves and blamed what he called a cult following on one side of the political spectrum. He didn't name names, but everyone knew exactly who he meant. Headlines exploded, fans argued, and Marvel, once again, said nothing. The silence is deafening. No statements, no corrections, just vague PR posts about how this film is a celebration of family and discovery. Yeah, okay. Tell that to fans who are watching their favorite superhero team become the face of a culture war. Insiders say the film underwent multiple edits after poor test screenings. Originally, gender politics were front and center in the script. After backlash, Marvel reportedly toned it down, but the bones are still there. The political themes, the messaging, they didn't disappear. They just got pushed to the background. Pedro himself said the movie would challenge audiences and push boundaries, which is great if you're making Oscar bait, not if you're trying to fix a broken cinematic universe. Then came the kicker. Pedro teased a hidden anagram in the movie that's meant to spark fan debate. What kind of debate? No one knows. But let's be real. Fans don't want puzzles. They want Fantastic Four. They want Ben Grimm smashing stuff. They want Sue Storm actually doing something besides disappearing. They want Reed to act like Reed, not a mouthpiece for studio politics. This isn't hard. It's not just Pedro who's stirring the pot either. Some cast members have started making subtle digs in interviews. Comments like, "I think people should see the movie before judging it," and "Not every actor needs to give a political speech." Ouch! That's Hollywood shade, and it speaks volumes. Clearly, not everyone's on board with the direction this film is heading. Then there's the legacy problem. Fantastic Four has baggage. The 2005 and 2007 movies? Corny but fun. They had charm. Jessica Alba as Sue, Chris Evans before Captain America. It was campy, sure, but people still remember them fondly. Then came the 2015 reboot. Fandeck. A disaster in every sense. Grim, joyless, and awkward. Now this reboot has to clean up all of that mess. And instead of focusing on the characters, we're caught in a whirlwind of controversy. Ben Grimm, the Thing, reportedly doesn't say his iconic catchphrase, "It's clobberin' time," until the final scene. What? That line is the line. It's what fans came for. Holding it hostage until the credits roll feels like a slap in the face, and it's emblematic of everything wrong with this film's rollout. Style over substance, controversy over character. Time to course correct, but Marvel better move fast, because right now, this isn't looking like a triumphant comeback. It's looking like another box office bomb just waiting to happen. And if that happens, if Fantastic Four flops, That's not just a bad day at the office, that's a full-blown crisis. This movie is supposed to lead into Avengers Secret Wars. It's the backbone of the next phase. If the spine breaks, everything else collapses. Al may believe he's doing the right thing, and maybe he is. But there's a time and place, and this ain't it. Marvel needs wins, real wins, not just headlines, not just Twitter threads. They need fans excited, not divided. They need stories that unite, not spark outrage. The Fantastic Four are about family, unity, overcoming impossible odds. Let's hope Marvel remembers that before it's too late. Is Pedro Pascal the right Reed Richards? Is Marvel heading in the right direction, or are they doubling down on disaster? Drop your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We've got more brutal breakdowns coming your way, right here on the Scoop Spot. And if you thought this drama was over, think again. As of this week, leaks from the set say there are even more changes happening behind the scenes. New edits, dialogue rewrites. Disney allegedly brought in a second director to help rework key scenes without making it public. That's not a good sign. That's panic mode. And the worst part? Cast members are being asked to reshoot entire sequences with almost no explanation. That's chaos. Publicly commented on the reshoots, but insiders say he's aware the backlash is building. And Marvel execs? They're reportedly debating how much they should lean into the controversy. Do they pivot hard into safe, crowd-pleasing nostalgia? Or double down on the original messaging and hope it sticks the landing? The stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just another superhero movie. It's the cornerstone of the next MCU phase. If it flops, Marvel's golden era might officially be over. Stay locked in, because this Fantastic Four drama, it's far from finished, and we'll be right here to break it all down, only on the Scoop Spot.